come on, everybody knows the 1985 team and that era. You've got younger people here who hear about it. But for us older fogies, it was the absolute defining pinnacle of our football club. You know, to win the conference is quite a staggering achievement. And to do it, I believe it was with, I'm sure I'll be correct, was it 17 players? 16, 17 players? You know, just you couldn't do that today. It's just incredible. 16 players, I'm told. And then, and Dennis, of course, yeah, 16 and Dennis. There's a reason the players came in to Move Closer by Phyllis Nelson, lovely song. That's because that was the #1 single in the charts on the 4th of May 1985, and the 4th of May 1985 was when Mr. Andy Graham and the rest of the team managed to get us over the line at Kettering to win the conference, so and became Go League champions. So a bit of a round of applause for that, please. I won't let on the news that you'll hear at the end of this to do with the 11th of May 1985 when we played at Wembley. You'll work that out yourselves later.
We win the Trophy Cup.
But at a time of reflection, there's a couple of things I'd just like to say. I've got some kind words from Les Reed, who was a coach at Wealdstone. He would have been here today, but he's with Southampton. He works for them in the Premier League, and they're at West Bromwich Albion today, so he sends his love and a few words. So Les Reed, Wealdstone coach at the time, he still speaks highly of his time at Wealdstone, and in particular sings the praises of the late Brian Hall. So we're also here today to talk about people who can't be here, right? Sadly, Brian can't be here. And he recalls the spirit of '85 with fond memories. Reed went on to coach and manage Charlton Athletic, and he had this to say: "I hit it off with the players immediately. They were as focused as you get on winning and improving. They are still the finest bunch of players I have ever worked with as a group, and they sit alongside the Charlton team that were promoted via the playoffs in 1998 as the most enjoyable and dedicated professionals I've had the pleasure to coach." That is quite something to come from that man. On the team, and in particular, again on Brian Hall, Reed had this to say: "They're all special. Brian Hall will always be dear to me and close to my heart. He really gave me my first opportunity, and the game lost a magnificent man and manager, someone I believe who would have gone on to great things had tragedy not taken him from us. I would go so far as saying we might even have been together sometime like Clough and Taylor." Bit of wishful thinking, but why not? "The championship winning team were all stars, and I could just list them as they all bring back memories of great moments of my time at the club. Alan Cordyce's goals, Mr. Cordyce. Bob Arles' save. Bobby Arles is gutted he's not here today. He's on a pre-planned cruise around the Caribbean with his missus, and I'm telling you, he is absolutely gutted he's not here. So his great save. Greeners whinging. Where are you, Brian? Greeners whinging. I could go on, he said. They were the quiet professionals. Neil Cordyce, Steve McCargo. Steve McCargo was busting a gut to get here from California. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be. Maybe next time. Mark Graves. He talks at Mark Graves as a quiet professional. I've never seen that looking that bloody quiet today. And how do you describe Andy Graham? The final was the first of many magic moments in the Wembley dressing rooms. For him, for Les, I had no idea that Wembley would become a second home to me later in life. Wealdstone gave me that confidence and the desire to drive on as a coach, and belief that I could make it to the top of my profession, and I will never forget the club for that, ever." But that's a hell of a thing to say. Also, Barry Neville, a former coach at Wealdstone, had these kind words to say. He worked under Brian Hall and played for Wealdstone too. He was also asked about his time at the club, and he recalled, "I loved Wealdstone, the atmosphere and the people. It was a special time with lots of special people. Some great and funny times. There were so many characters in the dressing room, so many stories, and one hell of a good manager. It's a great shame he didn't get the chance in the Football League that he deserved. What a great man Brian Hall was. I'd like you all to charge your glasses, please, and be upstanding with me to a toast. I'd like to please raise your glasses. The toast to Dorothy Byatt, Nigel Johnson, Ray Goddard, manager Brian Hall, and all those other close friends and family that can't be with us today. Here today.
Yeah.
Thank you.